Welcome back, everyone, to an exciting episode of Kicking It with Gab and Chooch.
I am Gab,
And I'm Chooch.
and we are back with another exciting episode, one of the last of the season. We are into the final week. By the time this comes out, we will be mere hours away from Manchester City versus Tottenham in one of the biggest games of the season. We're going to start off with our awards, recap the weekend, and preview the weekday matches right before the final weekend. Have a look at the rumored kits as of right now for next season. But let's start off with our banger of the week. Who do you have?
There was no standout banger, I would say. There were some nice goals. I would say Olise's goal was pretty nice. Nice curler. Hudson Odoi was good. Van der Beem's goal was good as well. So those are my three that really stood out.
Yeah, I am going to go with a duo here for the banger of the week and Starboy of the week. Not necessarily banger, as you mentioned, not many, but I am going to go with John Duran. He had just like a knee deflection goal almost. Just the meaning. If you would have not seen the goal and seen just before and the celebration, the goal was absolutely massive for Aston Villa. But definitely, I think my star boy of the week, just after coming on, about 10 or let's see, he came on subbed on in the 79th minute, scored 2 goals in 90 plus. Let's see, those were in the 85th and 88th minute. So less than 10 minutes of being subbed on, he scores 2 goals to get him right back into the lead. The first one was just a minor mistake from the defense, but he took advantage of it, and the second one was mere accident almost, but definitely a game changer. And he deserves a spot for sure. Starboy of the week, who you got?
I'm going to continue my bias. Michael Olise keeps going. He just keeps week after week just proving his worth, that his potential big move. He got the goal. He should have got the assist on the second goal, but hit off post and then they scored the rebound. But yeah, definitely has been playing unreal since the manager change. Rumor has it that Bayern were going to offer Crystal Palace $20 million to take the manager off of him, and they basically said no, $100 million or nothing.
Yeah, huge, huge for sure. That's definitely one of the ones that we were seeing as of late. But going, let's see, into the recap of the weekend, we had full slate, really good games. We'll start off with Saturday. Earliest game was Fulham versus Man City. Brace from Gorvidal, who's been absolutely unreal this month and last month. Foden gets a weak foot goal, and Julian Alvarez gets a penalty, which could have been Gorvidal's hat trick. Allegedly, that he was asked to take it. No Premier League defender has ever scored a hat trick before, and he declined and gave it to Julian Alvarez. I guess that just goes to show. That just goes to show what we're all about. Selfless. It's not about the personal achievements. It's about the team achievements. Julian Alvarez always manages every time he plays. He always manages to score a goal. Don't know how. It's quite unreal that he's not a starter. But Erling Haaland. When you have Erling Haaland, it's quite hard to start over him. Regardless, that was at Craven Cottage. Man City absolutely obliterated them 4-0.
Just yeah, absolutely. There was a moment where I think it was 1-0 and Traore almost scored, and that was like the only sort of life you saw. Because after that, it was just like a shooting ground, just fucking Man City shot after shot. It should have been 7-8-0.
Absolute, just pure dominance. Pure dominance. at this time of the season is what we need. Gain back some of the goal differential as well. 4 goals, 4 brings us only now to, well, at the time it brought them to 3 behind Arsenal. Is now 4 as Arsenal have won their game by 1 goal. Moving to the next game, we had, which we were split on, Bournemouth versus Brentford. I do believe I went Brentford and you went Bournemouth, but a 2-1 win. Very, very late game, though. Both goals, or all 3 goals, were scored past the 85th minute. So, thrilling ending. Almost a boring game, almost, but there were chances at Bournemouth. Everyone saw, or everyone should have seen, the Solanke celebration, the Naruto Solanke celebration. It's pretty good with the mask, and but Brentford get the winner.
Yeah,
Was
definitely. I called it. I knew he was going to score. I thought he was very accurate. Got to go disallowed. Close
Yeah,
enough.
it was good. It was a good game. I mean, towards the end at least. Next game we had at Goodison Park, Everton versus Sheffield. 1-0 win for Everton. I do believe realistically the only shocker about that game was that they only won by 1. Sheffield officially done for. Nothing to really play for but pride. And shoot, I mean, yeah, that's about it. Got dominated in possession. Fairly even shot game. Only one on target for Sheffield, though, of 13.
It
But
was,
still really.
yeah, it was at that point. Uh, you know, it's disappointing. Disappointing. What more can you say from Sheffield? You know, sometimes when teams get down, are already on their way down, they have nothing to lose for. They usually give their best, like these last couple games. To give the team a send off, the fans a send off, and it's just nothing from Sheffield. It's
Yeah. Sheffield almost benching a few of their better players, a few of their lone players. James McAtee didn't play at all. We'll see where he's at for the next season. Usually he's in the Premier League for these points as he is a Manchester City player. Um, but we'll see what happens with both of these clubs next season. Everton for sure safe. Sheffield for sure relegated. And moving into the next game, we had Newcastle versus Brighton at St. James Park. A fairly even matchup. Huge point loss for Newcastle as they get the draw. But, I mean, we saw, what we always see from Newcastle, some youngsters playing, some youngsters getting time. Livermento's been starting just about all season. Um, Lewis Hall played majority of the game. Sean Langstaff was the only one to score. Trippier didn't play at all. Harvey Barnes played, some. Almiron didn't really play much. Joelinton didn't play much, but still we're just at that point in the season where they don't really have anything to play for. No reason to get those guys in. And Nick Pope back on the bench.
just in time
Yeah, just
for
in time.
for the Euros. We'll definitely. I think Pickford starts just
Yeah.
on form. Arguably the best keeper, but it will be a good shout for him. Especially because you never know what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
Always an
definitely.
injury away.
100%. Big point loss, like we said, for Newcastle leaves the door open for Chelsea heading into the final week of the season. The next one we had just as big of a game. Burnley looked like they were going to take on Spurs at home for Tottenham. Started off really good for them. They get the 1-0 lead, but unfortunately, rest of the game and they are officially relegated from the Premier League. 2 defender goals from Tottenham and a Pedro Porro pretty good goal if you
That was a
saw
good
it.
looking.
and Van de Ven's goal as well. Very, very good. Coming in the 32nd and 82nd minute. But that one was pretty lopsided. I mean, Burnley had quite a bit of chances to score. They had 7 shots, 3 on target, but definitely 63% possession from Tottenham. 21 shots, 9 on target. Just not much you could do. And like we've said all season, you could be able to score just like Luton with the best of them, but you know, being able to defend is probably the biggest point in staying up. And none of these 3 teams so far that came up have been able to do so. And it looks like all 3 of them may be going back down here very, very soon. It does come down to the final week, but very unlikely that any
Yeah,
of them stay up.
yeah, it's super tough, especially
Yeah.
where they're at. The last matchups, it seems very, very unlikely.
Yeah. And it looked like the next game as well was West Ham versus Luton, which also started really well for Luton.
Yeah,
They get the early goal. Unfortunately, they don't score since. So 3-1, they lose to West Ham at London Stadium. But, I mean, West Ham are a bit in shambles themselves. Luton had a decent opportunity to jump the gun and make it a little bit more interesting. They are not officially relegated with the loss, but it would take a 6-0 win against, I believe, Forest. Or I'm sorry. Yeah, I believe they play. No. Forest plays Burnley. It would take a 6-0 win. I think they play Palace, and then it would take a 6-0 win by Burnley beating Forest, which is very, very unlikely.
yeah.
But there's a reason. There's a reason it's called Championship Sunday or Saturday. Anything can happen. We've seen it before. Unlikely, but truly, truly, anything could happen.
Yeah, just a matter of time, buddy. That one's gonna suck to see them go down. Just the way they won over a bunch of fans, their whole story, where they started. It's just a shame, but that's the beauty of the Premier League, the beauty of the game that we love. Just ups and downs constantly, and hopefully they will make a charge to be back in it next year.
Yeah, and I'd say they don't necessarily have a lot of Premier League talent on their teams. Ross Barkley's probably one of those that won't stay along,
Yeah,
even though he was so good for them. But I mean, that's kind of a good thing in terms of, a lot of their players could most likely be retained next season if they do end up going down, just to make another run for it again. But, we'll see what happens. They're not officially done and out yet. But West Ham pick up a good win for them, in their final home game of the season. And we move on to the next one. Next matchup we had was Wolves versus Crystal Palace in a 3-1 loss for Wolves. Crystal Palace still keeping up that red hot form that they're in, heading into the end of the season. Really, really big. I mean, absolutely massive for them. It kind of looks like they're going to find a form that they haven't seen in a very, very long time. But we have also been seeing that with Elisa and Eze for so long. I feel like it's dead at some point. I mean,
yeah,
you think that they would leave, one of them would leave here pretty soon. You never know. They've been staying this far. Who knows? But it looks like, Elisa is set for a big transfer. Eze has been talked about before, but has decided to stay. So we'll see what happens there. But so far, so good. Like Ivan mentioned earlier, like Chooch mentioned earlier, you know, the price tag on their manager is so high. I doubt any team would be even remotely close to paying that. Um, but good things. I mean, that shows a good thing for Palace. We'll see what happens in the off season for them. But still, a really good win from them, and they've been in unreal form.
definitely. No, they bring in a top signing, maybe convinces Olise and Eze to stay and
Yeah,
trust the process of the manager, which could be a huge game changer as well. Because then you'll have another team that could possibly, challenge for top 6.
yeah, definitely. let's see. Moving into the next one, we had another massive matchup with Nottingham Forest and Chelsea, which we know as Newcastle leaving the door open just a bit. Maybe an hour, 2 hours before that. Chelsea do get the 3-2 win at Nottingham Forest. Really big moment though. It came really down to the wire. Nottingham Forest go ahead goal from Callum Hudson-Odoi, who should have had two. One just off the crossbar, and an absolutely unreal. I've said it all season. No one's curve matches, no one's finesse shot matches Callum Hudson-Odoi's. It's quite literally unreal. I mean, I really have only seen perfection in a curve like that from very few players. I mean, we've seen it from Quaresma, we've seen it from Lionel Messi. I mean, the quality of curve every single time in a ball is quite unreal from Callum Hudson-Odoi. It's way up there, the best in the world, I think. But he was also deserved one of my Star Boy of the Week shouts once again. Uh, Thought he played really, really well. He did get the goal that was a go-ahead goal for Forest. He did celebrate, rightfully so, after what they did to him. But yeah, quite unfortunate. Raheem Sterling makes an instant impact, gets a good goal. Just veteran goal scoring right there. That's really all it was. I mean, you saw they needed it a bit. Mudryk had played well. I believe Mudryk's been playing well the past couple of games. But bring Sterling on, especially when you need a goal, especially in a big match like this. He delivered. And then Reece James, first game back in I don't know how long.
Month.
Yeah, delivers with an assist to Nico Jackson just minutes after his arrival. And Chelsea get the go-ahead 3-2 win. Massive points. That brings them right back to it. In the hunt, 57 points apiece, Newcastle and Chelsea. 10-plus goal differential. But Newcastle play Manchester United next, and Chelsea will play Brighton.
Right.
So, last games of the season. It's going to come down to it. Crunch time.
Boys,
8 o'clock start time for us. Yeah, it's got to be a win. It's got to be a draw or a loss for Newcastle. Unless you go, it's 10 goals, so either a 5-0 win and a 5-0 loss for Newcastle and Chelsea, for Chelsea to surpass them, or they just get the win and Newcastle get the draw or loss. Regardless, will be a good one. Manchester United also have an opportunity there, but I mean the goal differential is still so substantial. It's very, very doubtful. Not mathematically out of it, but almost realistically out of it. Heading into the next one, we had the Monday game. That was today, as we record on Monday evenings. I'm sorry.
Sunday game first.
I'm sorry, Sunday game. We had Manchester United versus Arsenal in a potential game of the week scenario. We did have a somewhat decent game, I'd say. Arsenal did dominate.
It was a decent game, especially just the way Man United has been playing. Everyone thought they were going to get absolutely battered by this Arsenal team, but they only lost 1-0. It was absolutely pouring. We saw the infamous United waterfall once again.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely. I mean, Manchester United did control possession of the game a majority of the time, although it didn't feel like it. We all know Arsenal have, one of the best. They're one of the best at controlling the ball in the opponent's box. Felt that way, but United had quite a bit of opportunities, quite a bit of good ones. Højlund, just not taking the shot, just not having time to take the shot and such. But it very well could have been, a goal against Arsenal. But good teams find a way to win, and Arsenal found a way to win with just the one goal, and they get the job done. Still in City's hands, but they still have a very, very good chance at winning. Arsenal do, as Manchester City will face a Tottenham squad here pretty soon, tomorrow, by the time this comes out. At home for Tottenham, which we have not won in over 2,000 days. So it is a must-win for City. It's looking good for Arsenal at this moment, but it's a win. It's a win and in almost essential, as West Ham and Manchester City have a unity called
City
City
Ham.
Ham. So we will see what happens with that. Regardless, moving into Monday's game, absolute thriller. Aston Villa versus Liverpool at Villa Park. And what almost at first was seeming like the game got away at 3-1 at some point in this game. Aston Villa strike back. Quite a few opportunities missed from Aston Villa, though. There was Diaby had missed one to win it. First of all, just after going 3-3, he had a wide open. Could have passed Ollie Watkins almost. Just absolute belter, shoots it right into Alisson's arms, and Alisson deflects it out for a goal kick or for a corner kick. But still, I mean, he had a chance to pass to Ollie Watkins, almost wide open. Missed a few earlier that were really good chances, just sent him over the bar. But Liverpool, I mean, they've done it quite often lately. They've got a good lead, and then, as things come down to the end of the game, they start to lose it. Unfortunately for them, I mean, they drop points here. Nothing necessarily to play for on their end, but still really big comeback win or comeback for Aston Villa. Not a win, but it felt like a win almost at the end, especially because they could have had it. Moussa Diaby with the absolute belter that got great keeping from Alisson. But I mean, huge for Aston Villa. They almost secure the Champions League spot. Just need to draw next week, the final match day of the season. A loss definitely leaves the door open for Tottenham. Tottenham do have 2 games left, so I believe if they win both of those and Villa lose one, they are in the Champions League spot there. So definitely something to play for Tottenham.
It's not going to happen. I've seen so many people on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. They would rather not be in the Champions League just so Arsenal does not win.
I also saw the Postecoglou interview just dropped. I mean, shoot, mere hour and a half before we started. He said absolutely that, if you're a fan of Tottenham, you're always going to root for them to win. No one's coaching to lose. David Moyes said as well in his interview today about Manchester City that, no coach is going to coach their team to lose. Not in the Premier League anyway, but, it just feels like Postecoglou's just like Conte was doing at some point, challenging his team almost ruthlessly that, they need to win something. I feel like Conte got the wrong end of the stick because of all the drama, but he rightfully may have turned around the club. Not in a point of saying that Postecoglou's done much, but they've went out, they spent the money, got Maddison. They've went out, they've gotten players that almost, I mean, we saw in the first 10 games of the season, could be perhaps one of the best teams in the Premier League. They've definitely gotten to challenge winning ways versus what they have been. So I think, he deserves credit for that. Postecoglou saying what he said today in the interview, you could go look it up on YouTube or Twitter, challenging the team again, I really think is a good chance for them. But, I mean, going up against Man City, definitely not what I wanted to hear, but we'll see. They basically said they have no room to talk, no room to brag, even if you win one over on a rival, because the trophy room is empty.
Yeah, and then obviously it's not going to help. I know Zuma will be out for the last 2 games.
Yeah.
A crucial player, especially right before the game against Manchester City. He will be looking to absolutely make a statement win I think it's the last day of the Prem.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So big games coming up. Let's get into those because we have finished our recap off with that Monday game. We're not even. Let's see here. Let's go into the Tuesday game. Tuesday and Wednesday only match weeks. Catching up those final match days that were missed. We have Tuesday, 12 o'clock start time. Tottenham Spurs versus Manchester City at home. Biggest game of almost both club seasons. It's out of Tottenham's hands into Villa's hands, but Manchester City are in full control of the title race. It's up to them. If they could get the job done at Tottenham, which they haven't done in years, one win. I mean, at a point where you think Manchester City have done it all, they will go up against Tottenham at home, something they have not done in quite some time, for the trophy almost. Really. Like West Ham, I mean, we expect Tottenham to put up a better fight than West Ham will.
Yeah,
And given as it almost feels like a curse to play against Tottenham at home, it's a challenge that Man City haven't had to deal with in quite some time. So we'll see what happens. I'm gonna go City. I'm gonna go 3-1. I'm gonna we've all seen what we've done in the past seasons. When it comes to this time, we put games away. That's what we do. I'm hoping it stays. We've been doing it the past couple weeks after a shaky, Champions League sent us into oblivion of pain for back-to-back trebles, but we are going for the double still shooting for it. I'm hoping we get the job done.
yeah. I just don't want. I can't afford to see Arsenal win the league. I can't. Absolutely not.
Yeah, we'll see. Pep said that this game, if we lose, we're done.
Yep.
That's the title.
Yep.
I agree, but there's still a realistic chance if we don't, if we draw, cannot lose the game. But if we draw, there's still a real chance that we could do it. But still, very very difficult. We want to win both games
Yeah.
and close it out,
Yeah. Because
regardless. Uh,
if you guys do draw, they they have you guys on goal differential as well.
yeah,
I think
it's
it's like
4 goals.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 goals, but still, I mean, it's tough to do in one match. But plus they're gonna have a match to score as many as they can too. So we'll see what happens. And Arsenal are playing Everton, so not the toughest game either. But we'll see. I'm going Man City, of course. And then Wednesday, we have 2 matches, almost simultaneous start times, almost. But big games for both. I mean, Chelsea right here, Chelsea Brighton at Brighton. Huge game for them. They could take the lead over both of these clubs, over United and Newcastle. It's a really big game for those teams too, because United still with a chance to crawl back and beat Chelsea even in the final match period. But we'll see what happens. I'm gonna go Chelsea in the first match. I'm gonna go maybe a 3-1 or a 2-1, and United Newcastle. I'm gonna go United.
I'm hoping for a United win, or if it ends in a draw, I'll take it as well. But I'm hoping if United win, just to absolutely seal the chance for
Yeah,
Europe.
yeah.
If we make it to Europe, buddy,
It'll be quite a run for
yeah,
Chelsea to have made it there for sure. It would be quite. It was. There were points in the season where we thought it was gone, where everyone thought it was gone. All the United fans, every fan making fun of Chelsea. To find a way to get to where they are right now is quite unreal. Pochettino came out, did an interview. Basically said, "What if I don't want to be here?" Everybody's talking about what if they fire me? What if I don't want to be here? Pretty strong, pretty strong. I think it was a good move. I think it was a good power play for sure. Not necessarily. trying to show you're bigger than the club, but just to show that he's not necessarily in terms a puppet or you know just in terms not necessarily a puppet to the club. I mean, he's his own person. He can make his own decisions. But I think he's done quite well. Enzo came out, backed him up as well. Uh, Said that without him before, the club was in shambles. There was no direction. There was no leadership, and now they've done quite well. Enzo Fernandez also playing most of the season allegedly injured. He didn't want to say anything necessarily and not play or just in the tough position they were in, but he did recognize that he was kind of hurting the club in a way in doing so. And without him, I mean, they've done quite well, but to see him at 100% would also be very, very good.
Yeah, definitely would be huge, especially going in. 'Cause if we qualify for Europe, it'll be great because the team is so young. Like we mentioned it before, they're gonna have to start competing in multiple matches a week. A lot of these players aren't used to that. It might not be Champions League level, but Europa League still very, very good tournament to be a part of.
Yeah, 100%. And yeah, no one would downplay Liverpool if they had won, their Europa League and the Premier League and such. So Europa League's still quite an achievement, even as we saw with West Ham. Even the Conference League is quite an achievement.
Yeah,
Um, but really big matchup. Huge for Chelsea, huge for what they could do. We've already seen them, fall once in a final, and these final games for Chelsea are almost final-esque for against Brighton and against Bournemouth, and their final match day of the season will be at home as well. And that is all that we have for the preview. Only three match week games, and then we'll go to the final set on Sunday. That will be the 19th. I will actually be out of town for it, but I will be watching. Since they all start at the same time, it will be glorious, but I will be keen in on one and one only, Manchester City versus West Ham.
Berlin Forest. Oh,
And Burnley and Forest is quite a good one. But Luton would, like I said, I think it was Luton had to score 6 against Fulham, and then Burnley would have to beat Forest by 6. Or by 7, I think, because goal differential. Either way, you never know. But it almost seems gone, but we'll see. Can't quite see Forrest not scoring at least one goal. But yeah, we'll see. We'll be back on Friday to film the final actual preview of the season, and then we'll be back the following Monday evening to post the final episode of the season, talk a little bit of Euros, and go from there. But before that, let's have a look at the stats very, very quickly. Erling Haaland still with 25, Cole Palmer with 21, Alexander Isak with 20, and those are realistically the only two that could necessarily challenge Erling Haaland's with one match to remaining. Ollie Watkins still could fall as the assist leader, only up 3 assists, could be done in one game. 2 for Cole Palmer. He's got 2 opportunities, so do Newcastle with Anthony Gordon, and we'll see what happens from there. But going back to it, Premier League, I'm going to pull this up on the share screen. We are bringing live to you the leaked kits for the Premier League next season. Some are official, some are leaked. But here is what the Arsenal home kit is supposed to be looking like. Out of 10, I really like this one. Personally, I think they could have gone with like a red stripe in the middle. Or a red, white, blue stripe. I just like this. I like the accents in the blue. Looks really nice.
I give it like a 7 out of 10.
The stripes are what get me. I'd say 7 out of 10 is fair, but I consider that good. Let's go back and let's peep the away ones. Away ones, for me, feels very Germany-esque. Not necessarily the best. Don't really love them. Don't really hate them. But they're definitely not the ones they had this season. I felt like this season's were very, very hard to top for them. I do like this kind of a bit, but it doesn't really play into the rest of the color scheme. Maybe if they did like this print on the letters, something more, it's just missing something for me. Looks a bit nicer there, but still. You could tell Adidas clearly went with this accent as they did for the Euros and such as well. Let's go back to Bournemouth. They only have a home leak as of right now. Very throwback-esque. Looks the cherries. I mean, as everyone knows, that's that's what they go for there. Not sure where exactly that is on the kit, but that is a leak as of right now. Not necessarily official, but looks extremely throwback, like 60s, 70s esque. You could see the 1899
On the
tribute
back of the
there.
shirt.
Yeah, looks like it's on
On
just
the
the
neck.
back tailbone or neck bone area. Let's have a look back at the Arsenal third. I forgot to click on that one. Oh, there we go. So I really like the white, and I also love the logo. Like, shoot, they should
Adidas
if
original.
they're doing this on the third, they should have done it on the others.
The Adidas original.
The Adidas original logo is quite spectacular.
I feel like that would have been
Yeah,
perfect with the Euro kits, especially how a bunch of them are like
yeah,
throwback.
and I really like the collar as well. I didn't really know. Yeah, like you said, I mean, I really didn't know how hard this logo would look until I saw it on this third kit, but it looks quite unreal. I like it, and I kind of like the wordings in the background as well. The AFC for Arsenal. Let's have a look back. Brentford, Brighton, Burnley, no leaks as of now. Chelsea home. It's a big one. Quite disgusting in my opinion. Almost looks similar, but they have these sort of lines to maybe make it look like a wavy type. I mean, these are just leaks, but
Yeah.
this is the closest leak we've realistically seen. This is more fan-made Photoshop, fan-made Photoshop, you know, fan-made Photoshop. But this one right here is like the official leak. Looks fine though. I mean, not the worst, not the best. Let's have a look at.
We are
Look,
rumored to
seeing
possibly get a Jordan
a
kit.
yes, seeing this right here, it doesn't look so bad. But it's just like when they showed it in that one, it looked nasty. Let's go back to the away. I don't know why it's in Spanish. The away kit, I think it looks clean.
Looks
Leak
a lot cleaner than the home.
very, very reminds me of England's kit here. The collar is the exact same style. It's not a white.
Like a
It's
cream.
yeah, it's almost like a sail, but not really. Then it even seems more,
More
more unsale. But
beige.
yeah, but really would like the little accent here on the Nike logo. The logo colors could be something that really looks good there. Just looking at that leak, that's seems to be official. Someone got their hands on it early or a sample of it. Looks quite nice, a little bit different for sure. There's another official leak for you. But it looks good. I think it looks good. I think it looks probably, better than the home kit, like you said. Let's have a look at the third kit leak. I would love that. That would look sick. I feel like this home or this badge, seeing as it could be Jordan, would make more sense because the official leaks, I mean, think PSG. Same type of accents. What Jordan always does, it's always little things that could be different from the leaks. It could be, they do just like PSG did. They do a couple lines on the outs, on the accents, on the very edges. But still, this Nike sign to be upside down, don't necessarily know if it would be legitimate, but they are rumored to have that Jordan kit, so we'll see. Definitely the away kit looks the best. Let's go back. Okay, Leicester. Alleged. Classic as always. Those are all three of them right there. Not bad. It's the usual from them.
Just nice classic kits, in my opinion.
That would be cool. Oh, yeah, that's an official leak right there, so a little bit odd, but I mean, their home and aways look pretty nice. I really like the emblem background on the aways, but the home are just timeless. Liverpool's are pretty clean. These are official, as
Clean.
we're seeing. Yeah,
clean.
very clean. Dig the collar, dig the outline accents. It just looks very retro for sure for me. But the collar, I mean, I think the collar makes the kit. Really love it. And that right there is a leak. Photoshop leak. This is official. Official. And then the Konate one obviously was official as well. But yeah. As you can see, I mean, that is quite clean. Very reminiscent of the 84. Jacket's quite clean as well. Let's have a look at the away kit for them. And the third. So right here, actually. Looks like they may get a fourth kit. If it makes more sense if they're going to keep doing this logo on third kits.
Yeah. Go a little bit.
Don't love the away kit. Yeah. Feel like they'd end up going with the third kit more than they do the away kit. And a potential fourth kit. Fourth kit looks absolutely mad. Third kit, absolutely mad. Home kit, absolutely mad. I just think if you're going to do this on the home, why wouldn't you do this on the away or some version of it? But I like how the third kit's different either way. But yeah, that home kit is quite good looking for sure. And it is official. That's a leak. Photoshops. Leak. Yeah, that one looks really good too.
Yeah. I like it.
Not the best of the season, obviously. Alleged, as of right now. A lot of leaks. We will get it here in 3 days, the official Manchester City kit of next season. But just going to be an instant classic, in my opinion. Everyone's like, what's this badging? What's this writing? I mean, it's the area code for Manchester, but still quite clean. Very good leak show off here. I think it's an instant classic. Can't go wrong with it. Just looks so good.
One that I did see were the Tottenham ones, and they look awful.
We'll get it. I think we have this. You're pretty close. Oh yeah, they do have them. So let's have a look at the Manchester away kit, which I think is going to be the best one for sure. Oh my word! Look at that. That looks quite unreal in my opinion. Erling Haaland in this, Phil Foden in this, quite unreal. Very, very reminiscent of the 90s, late 90s. Quite unreal. I am super excited to see if that is the official. I mean, they're leaks, but that almost looks official. You're crazy. Now the leak third kit in the classic. This is the 13. But very, very, there's supposed to be, I saw a leak on Twitter. I actually haven't posted it. But it's rumored to be black. or a very, very dark red, almost as what we did, not too long ago. So we'll see what happens, but no official, I guess, leak picture for the city ones. Still, very, very good color scheme, if you ask me. Very throwback-ish. Let's go United's. It's a very big club, allegedly. Very plain, actually. I actually hate the fact that they didn't go collar. They didn't really go for an accent here, as they did on most of them. I mean, you could see it's obviously there, but no white, no black,
Looks
nothing.
like a bunch of different shades of red.
Yeah. Might just be the wrinkles there, but yeah, I mean, you can't necessarily go wrong with the man's United jersey, but this looks wrong, in my opinion. Now, the away one has caught my attention 100% because this is glorious, in my opinion. The collar, first and foremost, my goodness. The color scheme, my goodness. The green ones they had this season, my goodness. Those were masterful. This, I mean, I really like it. The M's, quite unreal. I really just think that the sponsor is what's ruining the kit, necessarily. I also really like this blue, because this blue is reminiscent to me of the Rooney blues, very throwback-ish. But I really love the collar, really love the stripes there. Really good look, in my opinion. Let's have a look at the rumored third kit with the throwback Adidas original on it. Doesn't look the best. I mean, okay, so you see here 2 leaks. You see a leak with the normal. Now with the collar, game changer, in my opinion.
Yeah, collar.
If you go the Adidas original logo, you have to throw the collar on it. There's no way. Yeah, that would be unreal. It kind of looks like it's almost material in the leak. Now, if that's legitimate, that could be quite spectacular as well. But in this one, I mean, you don't necessarily see that. It's kind of feel like an old school texture type of vibe. Looking into the next one, Newcastle.
Always gross.
I mean, Newcastle have had some not the best ones in the past few seasons, but these are quite horrid.
Awful.
I'd say. This one
Awful.
probably, in my opinion, is the best looking one, and it's horrid.
It's
That's the
like that.
original. But this one is nasty. Hate this one. Looks like it looks like one of those ones you made on FIFA. I like the black one. Quite honestly, I do like the black one. It just looks retro more. Yeah, I like that.
Throw a collar on it or something. Save it.
I don't know. I genuinely do not know if Newcastle have ever had quite a collar like that. Yeah, no. It's a no for me. Except the home. The home's classic. If you ruin black and white, that's on you. Tottenham. I don't hate it. I actually think it looks good. That looks sick, in my opinion. They're just going for the retro look, in my opinion, and it looks good. I like it. If the stripes on the edge are legitimate, that's sick. What they should have done is gone gold on the letters. I know they didn't win anything, but still, would look nicer. But this is allegedly a realistic picture. Allegedly.
Alleged.
Let's go their away kit. Not the worst, not the best. Could look better if they had a collar, I think, but actually I think they do. No. No, I think it would have looked good if they did the collar that like the Chelsea one had or the England one had. Would look better. I mean, it's not untypical of Spurs to have a kit like that necessarily. And then the third kit, I think, kind of, in my opinion, looks a little bit nice, different. I like the different. The double Nike logo always looks good. Always looks good in my opinion. And then the kit, the way they changed it. Oh, I'm sorry. The logo for the third kit looks quite good. I like that color scheme. Don't like. Oh, and it has allegedly. Well, in this photo, it looks like it'll have the England collar on it as well, which is a Nike product, by the way. None of the other ones are. That's all Premier League as of right now. Luton will be down. Some of these teams will be down, but I'd definitely be interested to see what Crystal Palace's looks like. I feel like they always have a really good one.
Yeah.
I would say I'm always hopeful of a good West Ham one. I just haven't seen one yet.
Wolves are like hit or miss sometimes too.
They're always very plain, yeah. They could like the ones they had this season with like the double white, those ones were nice. Or like the gray white, those ones are really nice. Fulham can't miss with black or white or red. Those are the most basic colors there are. But yeah, I mean, we're still not sure. The other two teams coming up, for the playoff as well. Or I'm sorry, the other team coming up, we have a draw in the first legs, and the second legs will be played on Thursday and Friday. So by Friday we will have, or no, by Thursday we'll have only one of the upcomers from there. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. I also love to see what Aston Villa's away and third would look like. I think we missed this one actually. Not the best though.
Very
Very,
boring.
very plain. Yeah, very plain. They always look better once they're official, and you see they might sometimes have like a stamp print in the back or like a material that just makes it look really nice. But their teaser is that logo on the outside of their stadium. Yeah. And we just saw their re-badge that looks just like Chelsea's. And from this, it looks like there could be another rebadge, based on the shape of this crest and this crest and this crest. But if these are official here, it looks like the crest could be coming back to what it was, or very close to what it was, versus what it is now in Chelsea's wannabe.
Yeah.
Reverse Chelsea.
Yeah, what's that bad?
Yeah. Yeah. That is all we have for this episode. Thank you guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if you've gotten this far. Check us out: YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, Twitter, and that's all, I believe, and TikTok. Follow us on TikTok. Anything you got left, Chooch?
Come on, Chelsea. So back-to-back wins to end the season on a huge note would be icing on the cake. And we are hoping for Arsenal's downfall. We will be there. I will be there. Gab will be there. Will you guys be there? That is the question.
And thank you, everybody, guys, once again. We will be back again on Friday. We record Thursday night, so we'll be back on Friday morning with some midweek reaction. Hopefully Manchester City are just one game away from winning it once again. But we will see. Thank you, everybody, once again. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. And we will see you next time. You have been kicking it with Gab
And Cheech.
and Chooch. Let's go.